Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 207, I'm talking like this right now because I did not adjust my microphone correctly. And therefore, if I scream, my voice will not show up on the microphone. So it is the Good Morning Guys podcast. We are Garbage Truck on Fire. Thank you so much joining us, Joiner, on this fine morning, after, evening, or night. I am one of your hosts, the unprepared mountaineer and transition dreamer, Lucas Charlatan Swisher. Also with me, the commissioner of fake news spoilers and is soon-to-be childhood homeless, Patrick Shalary Novacell.
My energy level is so low right now. Like, I
And you just kicked him about his parents' house.
Jeez.
I did. If you want me to turn it up now, I can, because I switched my audio levels while you were talking.
Okay. Yeah. You want to do it now?
I kind of like this chill thing, honestly.
So good morning, Patrick Shalary Novacell. There you go.
All right. My energy level's up one notch. Thanks.
Fantastic. All right. To his left and my right, the Arc and Rocket League master who's ready to get hitched in 2 months or less, Ronnie, Ronderi Johantis.
I'll take it, I guess. I don't know what the middle name was, but the rest of it was pretty solid.
Like dairy, like milk and cheese.
That's right.
I do love dairy though.
Exactly.
That's the best.
I
could have a glass of milk every day with everything.
I'm pretty sure you could stop and ask my wife what we've had for dinner, and she will tell you there's dairy every time.
Absolutely.
Cheese,
on the food
milk,
pyramid, we gotta have it.
You gotta. It's at the top, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
All right, our final member of the GMG Quadfecta, the guy with Earl in his heart, malfunctioning rotary girders on his brain, and beef-plated beef noodles in his stomago, Marc Steve Voice Boucher.
The beef noodles. Can eat the plate too.
Just eat it all up.
I'm gonna need you to run that back.
Woo! I hope you're ready. If you're new joiner, welcome. My apologies. This morning we are sharing what's new with us, as is tradition. Then there will be perhaps a new Twix Game Packs episode where we spoil book 2 of As Dusk Falls, and our first TV episode as we discuss the first episode of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Is there going to perhaps be one, or for sure?
Well, there perhaps will be one. It may not be up yet when you're listening, but it perhaps will be up later.
It will
in no particular order. Yes. Because as you know, folks, and as I have proven over and over again, as all of us have proven, but I've probably proven more, we are the #1 garbage truck on fire, at least in my neck of the woods. All right, guys, we are sharing what's new with us, highs and lows, and as is tradition, I occasionally like to go first, so that's what I'm going to do. Since I gave y'all middle names and you guys are like, what is happening right now? Even though after 200 plus episodes, I'm pretty sure you guys come to expect things that don't make sense that I do.
I still ask the question, what is happening?
That's a part of the job.
Yeah.
Yep. It's what you get.
You're getting paid for this?
You get paid the big bucks for this.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Jesus
he's wearing a green shirt.
I get paid in happiness. Yeah.
That's right. Happiness and joy. All right, guys. So my last week, highs and lows. I'm going to start with the highs because I don't like to get the bad news out of the way. I like to lift you up, make you happy, and then just jab
punch you down to the ground.
In the gut. All right. So the highs for me, probably one of the highs was having a surprise little gaming weekend this past week. The wife had to work a little bit of extra, which she would probably say that was her low for the week, was having to work extra. She helped out the student government. She's an advisor for them, their high school kids. So she was busy Friday evening and Saturday morning, way too early. And so during that time, I did a little extra gaming, hung out with some folks on streams and all that good stuff. And it was fantastic. As a side note, my daughter, she stepped it up a notch and got even nerdier than me. She watched all 8 Harry Potter movies with a friend in just about a little over 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
They went to sleep she said they went to sleep from 2 to about 5 or 6 in the morning, and they watched all the movies while she was staying overnight at this friend's house.
Those
That's
days
passion.
are long gone for me.
Yeah. Well,
That is
she
passion.
said, yeah, that's totally passion. And her friend definitely fell asleep during one of the movies, and it really bothered Tasha. But
Were you guys?
mean-
So I got a question for you guys. Were you guys
Ask.
the people that fell asleep during movies, or are you the person that stays up to the very end and watches it every time?
if it's a new movie, I can stay up no matter what. If it's a movie I've already seen, it's a coin flip.
Oh, yeah. I can stop movies at any time, and I'll pick it up later.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you were a monster.
Yeah.
Monster.
So my daughter and I are going through the Marvel Universe still, and we're on Winter Soldier. And
What part of
55
Winter Soldier? You've like 45 minutes in.
55 minutes in. And,
First segment.
and Claire's like, you know what? We can watch this tomorrow. So we stopped it.
Gosh, you're raising a monster too. Jeez.
You're what's
I
wrong
always
with
end up staying
America.
up and watching it. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I go to the movie theaters and watch the whole thing, I'm like, man, I wish I could pause this.
Come back later.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll come
never
back
come
tomorrow
back
and
if I
finish
stop.
it.
Turns
I
back
gotta
to the
take a-
booth like, excuse me. Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Can you pause this?
You ripped
I've
2/3
got a
of this
little-
ticket off. I got a third left of the movie.
Yeah, I gotta go back to the little boy's room. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, so she got super nerdy there with her friend. Had a great time. Definitely slept the next night and morning to Sunday a good almost 12 hours. So she needed it. But yeah, I played the mess out of Returnal. As is tradition, I beat the game some time ago and I did it again. And now I'm going for the platinum. The game just keeps notching it up in terms of enjoyment. Got the secret ending. Now I'm replaying the levels for collectibles, which may or may not break me because it's based off of RNG. And for those that don't know what RNG is, that just means it's a random number generator, meaning the level changes and the collectible I need will only show up in certain rooms. And so I kind of have to like play through the level, and then if it's not there, then I die, and then I have to do it again. So we'll see how it goes. It may or may not work out, but I'm gonna give it a try because it's worth it. It definitely cracked my top 10 GOAT games of all time. So
Nice.
yeah, like it a lot. Another game that I like it a lot, which was another high, was I started a new game for the PSPP show called Chicken Police, which in fact I just rolled credits for today because it's only like a 5-6 hour game.
What?
Spoilers.
Really? It took me like 5 hours to get through chapter 1. Like, what are you doing?
So I totally thought it took me 5 hours to get through it, but when I looked at the time after I beat it, it only took 5.5 hours. So I think it feels longer, but I think chapter 1 is a certain, pace and full of the most story, and then chapters 2, 3, and 4 go really fast.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler, just to let you know. But spoilers, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna replay it for the platinum, and Pat and I will be doing a spoiler cast on it next week. But before we do that spoiler review and discussion, I did want to give a very quick spoiler-free review and warning. Not warning, rating. Not a warning. I liked it. It's not to scare you
Mayday.
off. Yeah, well, look out. No, this game had my attention from the beginning. It's like a noir style, I said noir style buddy cop detective game where you're solving a mystery in an adult version of Zootopia. It's bonkers. Like, it's got really good voice
called?
acting. It's called Chicken Police.
Chicken police.
Yeah, you
So you're not a
definitely need
chicken though.
You are a chicken. You're a rooster, actually, to be
And
specific.
it's like a colony of chickens and roosters.
No, it's all the animals. It's like Zootopia, like where all the animals are, hanging out together. There's chickens, there's cats, there's rats, there's no bats. There's all kinds of animals. Bobcat, wildebeest. Yeah, there's animals galore, and it's pretty much human bodies, like human people, with animal heads, and it's bizarre.
It's so bizarre.
No wonder you have like weird dreams.
Yeah, it's definitely fed the weird dreams category for sure. The voice acting is excellent. And it was a fun ride. It's available on PS Plus Extra. I definitely recommend it. I give it a 8 out of 10 clucking car chases. So
Wow.
yeah, 8 out of 10. So that's my rating for that.
Snazzy.
Then the next morning, had a lot of fun gaming and streaming with Chris Larkalees Kerwin. That's his new nickname, based off of something that happened during the stream, which is where the weird nicknames come from. So we were streaming, playing Returnal. We did not get to the Biome 1 boss as I was hoping, but we did have a blast chatting with his community that morning from all over the world. There were Stupidly Epic from Scotland, another viewer from New Zealand, and then we met a girl from Philippines called Kylary, and she said that her name was based off of her dad's name, Kyle, and her mom's name was Valerie, and they had mashed their names together to make her
One
her
superhero name.
Yeah, and I thought that's really cool. I'm going to do that for everybody I know. So I did it for Chris because his dad's name's Larkin and his mom's name is Lise. So Larkalees is the middle name. And then you guys, I asked you randomly, and some of you were like, "Why are you asking me this?"
Forgot about
I said, "I'll let you know." Yeah. So, yep. So those are your nicknames. They may or may not stick. We'll see. I particularly like Patrick's, Shalary.
Sounds like something that somebody like hits you over the head with, like an Irish.
Sounds like a 50s dance move.
Shalary. Yeah. Yep. That all works. But yeah, during the morning stream, Chris and I had a good time together. We decided to, for me to help him out a little in terms of keeping the morning streams consistent. The morning streams that are not friendly to those who like to sleep in on the Eastern Seaboard, but for international viewers and joiners, we get a lot of people from much further east or west, depending on which way you go around the globe. So on the certain days that he can't stream, I'm going to be streaming bright and early in his stead. So we're going to be trying to cover the whole week, Monday to Saturday. Somebody always streaming at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So should be fun. Should be a good time. And we're going to be nicknaming that the two of us the GMG BCODST, or the Good Morning Guys Butt Crack of Dawn stream team.
I love it.
Fit that into a graphic or a logo.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not making that graphic.
Be careful looking for a graphic for that. Okay. The lows for me are probably more straightforward and to the point. My dreams have not been very prevalent lately, so they've not been very memorable. The only thing I have to say is that I did find out in one dream that I have a secret brother who was born 5 or 6 years ago, and his name is Alan Davis Swisher. That's all I know. I definitely dreamt about that, and it was really weird.
It's like a soap opera. You have a secret brother.
Yeah, seeing my dad holding this 5 or 6 year old boy who's just like laughing at me, and he's kind of a bully, like from what I remember of the dream. The other thing that happened is I got stranded at a bakery last week. Tried to use the Uber app, tried to download other apps, and I none of them worked. And the Wi-Fi at the bakery didn't work. And I was like a 30-minute walk, and at that point, my toe was still a little tender, still not feeling good. But I trekked it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I don't want to. I'm in pain. On top of that, I was fasting that day. I've recently decided to spend some time fasting. For those that aren't familiar, where you just kind of, you don't eat, or you take something out and fill it in with, some God time, prayer, different things like that. And so I was like, all right, I'm on an empty stomach since the night before, so let's just make the most of this walk. I was grumpy the rest of the day, but I did get some good prayer time while I was walking home. So that was a really cool moment, kind of like a little high in the midst of the low. But yeah, so that was a low high in my life. And yeah, that was my week. Straightforward to the point. Mm-hmm. Not too shabby, not too bad. More highs than lows for sure. But how about you, Patrick? Tell us about your week, friend.
All right, so I'm gonna do the exact opposite. I'm gonna start with the bad news first.
Do it.
I'm gonna punch you in the gut, and then I'm gonna lift you back up. Like, hey, just kidding.
Hey,
we got some.
I thought that was the bad news for a second. The bad news is I'm gonna punch you in the gut and
You never know. Like you said, you never know what's going to happen. None of it makes sense.
Yep.
So this past week, one of the lows was I had an allergy attack, and I had an allergy attack at my nephew's birthday party. This is second birthday, and so I'm at my sister's house, and I am just miserable. So we're there for a couple hours. I'm like, I can't stay. They've done cake and all that stuff. They haven't done the presents yet. And I was like, I got to get out of there. So I went home and I couldn't sleep at all that night. It was one of those things where I would almost fall asleep. And then because my nose was so stuffed up, like if all of a sudden I would take like a deep breath in my sleep and it would wake me up. And so I was like, I couldn't get any sleep. So it was like, I don't know, 3:30 in the morning, and I'm still trying to fall asleep. And so I'm like, I can't get a good wink. I gotta work in the morning. I gotta get up in 3 hours. This is the worst. And so 4:30 comes along, 5:30 comes along, and then 6:30 when my alarm goes off and I wake up. And then I realize that I was dreaming that I couldn't fall asleep. That was my dream. The entire night I was
well done.
I woke up so angry. Like, what in the heck? It was the worst dream. I was mentally just drained all day yesterday. It was awful. It was awful. And it took me a while. I was one of those things where I had like 3 cups of coffee Monday morning just to get through the day.
Goodness.
And it really didn't help. I felt my eyes were super heavy, and I just had no energy just because of the way I slept. And then we just had we had some people that were around, and then my team lead on my team was out with COVID. And so I'm like, oh gosh. So not only do I have like no energy, I gotta pick up the slack there at work. And it was just one of those things where I was just no energy at all yesterday.
Real quick, Patrick.
Yeah,
I want to interject some WebMD Brazil edition to help you out with them sneezy allergies.
Okay.
I think something was in the air because you said this was on Monday that it happened yesterday?
This was on Sunday was when I had it.
Sunday. Okay. Well, somewhere around there, the same thing happened to Mindy because she wrote me at some point. I was out and about and she's like, I just sneezed 27 times in a row. That had to be a record for. She wrote me that she had sneezed 27 times in a row.
She pulled out her quill and her.
Yeah, she did, and she mailed it to me.
Note and the pigeon and everything.
And they sent it to the gas station I was pumping gas at, and they were like, "Hey, we have a letter for you, sir." Yes, sir, Lucas here. We have a letter.
Federal Express.
Yeah. So, anyways, when I got back home, I had juiced some limes the week before, and it was like for dinner that night. I was like, "Chug this." She's like, "You know what? We're going to chug this. I'm going to chug this." And next day, she was good to go. So you need to get some lime juice and just chug it.
Yeah, no, usually allergy attacks, they only last
It's real bad.
me for a day, and then I'm good the next day. So really my allergies were gone on Monday. I was super tired.
It's fair.
Yeah. So that was the low, but on actually today. So we have things that are going on at work where I need to train different people, and I have to make sure that everyone is up to speed on the new things that are happening in our department. And so Marc, he's on my team. So I called him and I'm like, hey, this is what's happening. I want to make sure that you know what's going on. And then he's like smiling at me. And I'm like, what are you giggling about? And then so he's like, nothing, he's like, I noticed that Eric's calling you. And I was like, yeah, he's called me like 5 times while I'm on the phone with Marc. And in Microsoft Teams, you can see when someone is on the phone. It says in a call. And Eric, he calls me like 5 straight times. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. So I end my call with with Mark. I get on the phone with Eric, and I'm like, dude, did you just call me 5 times while I'm on the phone? He's like, yeah. And I was like, are you dying? and he's like, no. And I was like, then why were you calling me? And so I'm like infuriated with him calling me that many times, like, and it's not important. And so all of a sudden, one of my teammates, one of the team members on my team, jumps on the call, and I'm like, why is she on the call? And then Mark jumps on the call, and then the rest of the team jumps on the call, and I'm like, what is happening? And so the team had gotten me a present. And this is like totally, I was so infuriated with Eric. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we got you something. And I'm like, what? What is happening? I was like, when
you're all fired.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, geez. What are you doing to me? I recently got promoted, and the team decided to recognize it, for me getting promoted. They're really excited about the promotion, and they got me a Cameo. So I don't know if you know what a Cameo is, but it's like you get celebrities, voice celebrities, actual actors and actresses. You can hire them for a few minutes, and they'll do a personal message for whoever you want to do the personal message for. And so they did that. They got a Cameo for me. And it was Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger and White Ranger.
Nice.
Yes. So if you know anything about me, I am the OG Power Ranger fan. The original seasons 1 through 3, by far the best Power Rangers episodes there are. I have a Green Ranger in my man cave. I got a Megazord on my windowsill right here. I love the Power Rangers. So having Jason David Frank say, hey, Patrick, and just talk to me about who I am and things like that. It was really, really cool. He said the team's name and what the team did. And then he was doing it's morphin time. He did all of his sounds and moves that he does. He said, everyone has a nickname, and he says Hollywood Bones. I'm like, what is happening? This is really, really cool. And so he's like, all right, everyone say it with me, because you're going to feel better after you say it. And you know what we're supposed to say. And he was like, it's morphin time. And then he's like, have a good day. Congratulations again, Patrick. And that was it. It was like 2 minutes. It might have been, 2.5 minutes. But it was by far one of the coolest things, one of the coolest presents anybody has ever gotten me. And it's another reason why I absolutely love my job. Because the team is so awesome that they do small things like this that mean the world. So it was a huge, huge high for me this past week.
Nice.
You're welcome. No.
Hey, man, I was so speechless when I was like, no way is this happening.
I'd say Mark had something to do with the Power Ranger aspect of that.
Oh, I'm sure Mark put it all together. Yeah. So, yeah, really,
I
really
think Eric
cool.
would have got Chad Ochocinco probably.
Yeah. You look on there, there's so many people on Cameo. It is endless out there.
There is.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Some of them get really expensive though. I wish I could spend that kind of money on a.
It depends.
On a
Yeah, it depends
5-minute
on the
message.
celebrity.
Yeah.
Man, Jason Taylor Frank is one of my favorites. I follow him on Instagram
Celebrity
and
number
Facebook,
one.
and he does videos almost every day. He also has a new movie coming out called The Legend of the White Dragon, which is a spiritual successor of sorts to the original Power Rangers, where he is going to be this White Dragon Power Ranger. It's coming out. I think it's early next year. So,
nice.
And he's
been hyping this thing up forever.
written it, produced it. I know it's the only thing I've ever backed before, as far as a project or a game or whatever. It's the only thing I've ever backed so that I can be one of the first ones to see this movie. So yeah, big, huge Jason David Frank fan. And so, yes, huge thank you to you, Mark, and the rest of the team.
Nice.
You're welcome. No.
Well,
Yeah.
then speaking of Mark, care to share with the class your highs and lows?
I suppose I will. So highs this week, man, it was really hard for me, honestly, to really think about specifically lows this week, because there really wasn't
That's good.
anything horrible, which is not a bad thing at all, I guess.
I mean, the low can be like, you got dust in your eye or something. Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about a low that I can talk about.
Fair enough.
But the high of the week, number one, I beat Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Was able to beat that yesterday on the 35th anniversary of the North American release of The Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda on NES. But yeah, I love that game. Going back through it, it probably ranks a lot. I haven't ranked all the Zelda games. I probably should once I.
Yes. That sounds like a good topic.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely ranks higher than I think it did before. Yeah, this game is just we've said it before on the show. Like you could release this anytime and it's still awesome to play. But yeah, got it done last night, a little after midnight. So we are moving on to Twilight Princess HD next, which I'm actually going to stream this Friday night, starting Friday night.
All right, TGIF.
Yeah, because unfortunately I can't stream on Saturday because my wife is working and my stream stuff is in the same room as her office stuff. So.
Do them at the same time. That would be fun.
Right?
Yeah, about that. She works for a call center, so not so much.
They'll just hear in the background like, hi.
Sad? Like, what is going on back there? But no, that was awesome. Also, I think a lot of my highs this week were gaming related, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Also streamed the brand new map of Naraka Blade Point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it is called Holleroth, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I actually got to play with Aaron, aka You Done Messed Up, Ron, on the Discord.
Yeah, you did. Finally got that crossplay working.
Yep. They finally got their act together, and you can do crossplay with Steam now. I will say that I can tell that my Series S is having a little trouble with this game.
Uh-oh.
Because things were not rendering properly. It looked like I had bought specific armor, customized, armor that you can get from the shop or whatever. And it looked like it was coming out of an N64 game for a little bit.
Oh no! Dang, that's harsh.
Yeah. Now, granted, the new map looks beautiful. It looks like it's a lot of fun. It was great to be able to play with Aaron after I haven't played. Like the last time I played with Aaron was during my college years.
Whoa! Wow. That was overdue.
10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a hot minute. So it was nice to get back together and play with him. We were able to pull out a win, which was great.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And but yeah, you can tell like you need a Series X.
So
is there a quality mode and performance mode for Naraka?
That I would have to look into the settings on. I didn't mess with it very much. I'd have to look at it. But
yeah, that might make a difference if they do have that in there.
Yeah.
But then again, it was also, it was day one of a new map and everything, so they're gonna have.
Yeah. Was it day one of the armor that you had as well?
Probably not. It's probably been there for a while, but
yeah, it's probably been there since the N64 days. They just repurposed it.
This is the classic 64-bit
yeah,
skin.
Right. That would be fun though if they were like, "Hey, here's some 64 looking skins."
Yep, and all your characters are polygonal as crap.
There's 3 corners. That's all there is.
Why does Mark look like an ugly boat person?
I understood that reference.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a great time to be able to play that, and also got to play some Fortnite as well with the new Dragon Ball characters that you could get.
Oh my goodness! I'm not a big Dragon Ball fan, not really a big Fortnite fan, but those two together and seeing the clips of
the clips are crazy.
Kamehameha, whatever it is, it's just,
What did you just say?
Kamehameha.
I don't know how to pronounce whatever that is.
It's
Better you than me.
Kamehameha.
I would have been like,
Kamehameha!
Except it
you made it sound way more Western, Patrick.
except it sounds
All right,
a lot
partner.
more high pitched because they have the Japanese voice actor for the sound effect in there, and it's voiced by a woman, and like both Goku and his son Gohan on the show, like they're both like super high pitched. Like I am not a fan of the Japanese voice actor, but in any case, yeah, like. If you can aim it now, the problem with the Kamehameha wave is that you've got to.
I thought you were going to start singing "Come, chameleon."
Well, you come and go. You come and go.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, the thing about that is it takes a moment for the animation to go through. So
Right.
anybody can like sit there and take shots at you while you're in the middle of the pose, like as you're charging up the wave. But once you let off the wave, if you catch somebody and like it's pretty much an immediate death for them.
So how do you do that? Is it an ultimate, or
It's
it like
not an ultimate? It's basically they have these pickup items on the map. They're these
Yep.
capsules that basically look like the capsules from Dragon Ball. And when you break them open, there's two types of things you can get. You can either get the Nimbus cloud, which is this yellow cloud from the Dragon Ball series that Goku rides on, and you can use it as like a quick escape item, helps you to get from one place to another. Or you can equip the Kamehameha wave, where it basically you get 3 opportunities to shoot it, and you are just loving hearing me say that.
I never knew how to pronounce it.
Kamehameha.
You get 3 opportunities to shoot one. And it's basically like you're selecting a gun or selecting an item in your inventory.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you select it, it goes into the animation. You can't move while the animation's going on. But once he fires the wave off, then you can aim it a little bit more.
Is it one shot?
Yeah,
Or
it's
can you use it multiple times?
there's 3 in one single pickup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can do it up to 3 times. Just same with the Nimbus Cloud. You can do it 3
Now,
times.
have the other characters they've introduced to this game, have they had special moves that they've introduced to Fortnite like this?
They've had different kinds of things. I'm honestly I'm
Like
much
Spider-Man.
newer.
Spider-Man had like the webs, right? Or
Right.
They had a
Did he have
glove
webs
that you
to
could pick
use?
up. They had a glove you
okay.
could pick up. Anybody could pick it up. There was a glove item that you could use that would shoot webs.
So can
Okay.
anyone pick up the Kamehameha?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right,
anybody can. And they have Goku and Vegeta as characters you can get, as well as 2 other characters from the show. There's a character named Beerus and a character named Bulma. And I'm not even going to try to explain that to you. But you have the ability to change into, like with Goku and Vegeta, there are different Super Saiyan forms that you can go into. You can change into while you're in the game. Yep.
No, Patrick, just to explain, Goku is one guy, he eats meat, and Vegeta is a vegan. He eats not beef plates.
Fajita veggies.
He eats salad plates. Vegeta, vegan. You see the connection?
Is that real?
No,
Not quite.
it's totally fake.
I was like, if you said
But-
yes, I'm like, all right, well, there it is.
But the Saiyans are the race. All their characters are named after different types of like plays on vegetable names. Like Goku's Saiyan name is Kakarot. Vegeta,
Like carrot?
like a
like
coconut?
No, carrot, Kakarot.
Kakarot, coconut. Come on, that's way better than carrot.
And then Vegeta is obviously a play on the word vegetable. There's a character.
Fajita, you mean?
Well, that too. And then there's a character in the show called Broly. It's a play on broccoli.
Yeah, okay, broccoli. I get that one. Yep.
Yeah.
I love this game.
Yep, and there's several
It's a
other
fun
ones.
game.
Gotta love the Japanese.
Next
But-
week, bring a game to this.
Yep.
And let's guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Mr. Tomato.
Tomato.
Tomato
Ketchup?
is.
Yeah,
he's-
ketchup.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun playing that and having those characters on there and hearing that shouted every 5 to 10 seconds and knowing
For sure.
you've got to run for cover because somebody's gunning for you. But no, it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. But the low is another gaming moment.
Uh-oh.
So don't get me wrong, I loved the Wind Waker, as I said. I loved playing through this game, but I forgot there is a particular part of the game that's very, very tedious. That drives me nuts. It drove me nuts the first time I played it, and then I remembered that part when I actually came up to it this time, like, oh man, I got to go through this junk. So you have to go through and search for these shards of the Triforce, one of the Triforce pieces. And they're like scattered all throughout this map, this huge sea map. You have to go through all these different places to get what are called Triforce charts or Triforce maps, basically. And you have to unlock the map by having one character basically decipher the map for you. And then from there, you have to follow the map to wherever that point is leading you, and then you have to use your boat to dig up the treasure chest that has the shards in it, or you've got to go to like 3 different places. There's one Triforce shard that you have to get where you have to go through this gauntlet kind of thing where you have to beat 30 waves of enemies in order to get to the Triforce shard and all that kind of stuff. And it's just so tedious to me. That just drives me nuts. So when I was done, I was super thankful that I was past that. But I did a lot of it off stream, just because like
Wise move.
I think you were there on Saturday because you raided Lucas.
Yeah.
And just this moment where like I realized like when I got a Triforce shard and there's 7 more pieces, and like I'm done for today because that drove me nuts. But I got past it and everything's good. But
Yeah.
everything else
it led to a high.
Indeed. But I mean, everything else was pretty status quo for this past week, especially on the IRL front. I will say that I've been dreaming.
Oh, something's in the air.
Yeah, it's been weird. I don't know why, and
Embrace it.
I'll have to share my dreams another time, but because I'm already going too long. But yeah, I've been having some weird dreams.
Gotcha.
But that is it for me.
All right.
So
Save the best for last.
that means Mr. Ronnie.
Old Ron
right.
Derry.
I'm actually glad I did not go right after Patrick, because he was talking about how much he like just loved work and loved where he worked and all this stuff. And I'll start out with my low, and it's really just in general. It is, I work for a company who in the past 3-4 years there's been like 3 like pretty sizable layoffs. So we just had one probably like a month or 2, I guess, ago. And what it boils down to every time in working for a company like that is it's exhausting, because people that basically when people just leave, there's no plan in place. When somebody's just laid off, there's they didn't know they were getting laid off. So whatever they were doing, whatever they were working on, whatever part they played in that's all just up in the air. And this past layoff, a couple people that I work directly with were let go. One of which I kind of pretty much reported mostly everything that I do. I pretty much reported to them. They were pretty high up, and yeah, it's the person that stepped in, the people that step up into those roles and stuff, like they're just trying to do the best job they can. They're in the same situation. but it's just a lot of confusion, and a lot of people don't know what's going on, and then you don't know who to ask or who to send things to, and with it being the third time around, it's just exhausting. Like working through that, and this week has been just straight up, just all of that seemed to be coming down. So
That's rough, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
it has been. I mean, Patrick, after I think after the first layoffs, it's just people are just gone, and somebody else has to step in and figure out what they do. And that's an impossible task in itself. Somebody that's been at the company for years that does all this stuff, and all of a sudden they're gone. Like nobody really knows what you do all the time. All those little things that you take care of, that's all of a sudden just stops happening, and people find out about those things because something goes wrong, and then it's a whole nother mess to fix. And man, just the third time around is it's rough. So like I said, this one hit a little closer to me, like organizationally, where it's just a new person that I'm trying to explain to them how everything works. It's just a part of the system that they didn't know even existed. So that's been my low for sure. Is
Gotcha.
trying to work through that, and that it just puts more pressure on everybody else that's still there. And obviously, like, I'm thankful that I still have a job and everything like that, but it's the other end of it. So that's definitely been my low, but I had some decent highs this week. The first one was this past weekend. I spent a lot of time with my dad's side of the family, and I don't see them as often. They live probably 45 minutes away, most of them. And, you just, when you're not that close, it's hard to, really get into a regular thing. But we had my first and our annual Johannes family fantasy football draft on Saturday.
Nice.
So it's really fun. It is basically everybody from my dad's side of the family. I started this league a while ago so that everybody could stay in touch, and it's really like been a blessing in that aspect, because otherwise I don't think I would talk to them as much. But when football season comes around, everybody's chatting back and forth all the time, and it is an in-person draft, which is rare these days.
Right.
Everybody's got their papers out, and it's kind of old school from that aspect. That all boils down to the reigning current champion in our league is my grandmother, who is 87.
Yeah, Grandma. Grandma
finally
Durant is rocking it.
She finally won last year at the draft. She had the big championship belt over her shoulder and everything. It was pretty cool. I think it like the belt is like so heavy, like, 'cause it's like a serious piece of equipment, and she's like this tiny little old lady. This is like thinking it's just gonna like tip her over at some point, but yeah, that was really fun. We actually do this thing now where we get one of those. I don't know if you've ever done this, Patrick, but we get one of those like big boards, and all the players are on stickers, and you actually can stick the player that you choose like in the spot on the draft board.
Oh, dang! How many stickers do you have?
Well, you get a huge pack, so it has all the quarterbacks like on like I don't know,
so
maybe like 5
you're
sheets.
not manually putting them on like sticky notes. You buy the pack.
Yeah, it's a page of stickers with the names. And
Oh,
you just pick
okay,
whichever
that
one
sounds
you want
way
off,
better.
and then you put it
Yeah.
up on the board in the draft spot. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, that way everybody's not keeping track of their own. We've been through all the fun stuff in that league, where one year I wasn't there to kind of like run that draft, and I was entering picks like the next week, and I'm like, man, 3 people drafted the same player. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who was running this? Like, and it just kept happening. And so I'm like trying to make decisions. I'm like, all right, well, who drafted him first? It's like, so yeah, it makes it easier from that standpoint, because like if they're taken, well, the sticker's gone, so it's impossible
Yeah.
to take them again. So, but it was fun. It was really fun getting to see all them again. The second half of the weekend was Sunday, and that side of the family, all the ladies threw Elizabeth a really nice wedding shower.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Nice.
Yeah, they did. They got a lot of really, like, I feel like it was just They kind of went all out. You know what I mean? Like they had her like a mimosa bar, they had a cake made and everything, and my cousin runs a bakery, so there was like a gazillion cookies and all the things. So I of course
Nice.
just dropped her off and like grabbed like a mimosa to go.
Yeah.
And then came and picked her up basically, and got everything ready. But during that time, I just hung out with my dad, my uncle, and my stepbrother. We just kind of sat around and chatted over at my grandma's. But it was really nice. I mean, it was really. I mean, they went all out. They're just the nicest people. Yeah, they really are. So it was really great. She was really happy about that.
Nice.
I'd say the weekend as a whole was a high. Because like I
There you
said,
go.
I just don't get to see them as often as I'd like to. We try to go out to dinner with my grandma and aunt every couple of months. So, but outside of the highs and lows in the gaming department, still playing some Arc. Speaking of Arc, when are we doing this?
I know, right? I
When
did
are we doing
download
this?
it. I did download that 150 gigabyte behemoth.
You know you
It
can
is a
play it
monster.
via the cloud as well.
What?
Yeah,
Arc.
I'm kind of weird like that. I just,
Oh,
I
I
don't have
guess,
a,
yeah,
Pat,
with your internet.
I was gonna
connection,
say,
I guess.
Yeah.
So
you're
he's
really gonna
Will
have
Penn.
him try to play
Yeah.
in
I
the
mean,
cloud.
yeah,
Let me
it's
walk
already
that
got
back. Yeah,
issues.
smart move.
We know better.
So I was
We know
talking to
better.
Eric about this because on the map we're currently on, so we're on our second map since we started back up again,
Right.
and we beat one boss. There is 2 more bosses, and then there's like the main boss.
Okay.
So there's 3 more. So what I think would be fun is to have you come in and fight one of the bosses with us.
All right. I'm down.
And anybody is welcome to do that, Pat, if you want to try again.
Yeah,
I
because
have
pretty
it
much
downloaded as well.
I'll just
All right.
walk into the room and you'll just throw a bunch of crap in my lap and I'll just put it on and kind of just be
Oh,
like
I mean,
the kid
well,
Just
from
remember, there's
Christmas
an
Story.
option. There's an option to poop. So I'll show
There
you
is.
where that is.
There is that. There definitely is
Yeah,
that.
I'll definitely use
we'll,
that.
We'll probably show you around. I like whatever mount you're going to be on, like for the fight, whatever dino. We'll give you a little behind the wheel time on it, like so you get used to it. I won't
Get
just
used
like
to
throw.
cruising
yeah.
around.
Yeah, I won't just like throw you on it immediately, but I mean,
Just
we'll
like
probably
going
have
everywhere.
we'll probably have like 20 dinos or so. So, and the boss fights are pretty grand, pretty grand scale. So,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
think that would be fun. That would definitely be a good time. We just need to come up with a night, whatever works for
We
you
do.
guys.
Yeah, we'll figure that out for sure.
That sounds like a plan. Outside of that, I did start up playing well, not a new game, but I started replaying an older game, and that is Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah.
Eric and I actually are playing through that. We actually just beat the Arch-Illager tonight on the base difficulty level.
Nice.
I didn't remember that you had to beat him in order to be able to turn the difficulty up.
That is correct.
I did
You got
not
to earn
remember
your
that.
stripes. Yep.
And I also haven't played since the first time like I played through. And if you recall, the piece of advice I gave you was to equip all your high level stuff before you
Yep.
exit.
Yep.
So I've been doing that since the very beginning. And now I think my level's like a 25, but my power level's a 42.
Nice.
And what happened through the first play is after like the first or second level, like we were super overpowered for everything.
Right. You're just melting everything.
Yeah, super power. So now that we've unlocked the other difficulty, we can kind of like, I think like level 42 is about like the cap for when you first start as far as gear goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember when we started the second level, I think we were at like the upper 20s for power level, and we realized we needed to be mid 30s, so we had to grind a little bit to get to the next level. So yeah, you guys did it from the beginning. That's smart.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever done that, and really the game is not designed for you to do that. It's just exploit, is I think what Eric described it as.
Quality exploit.
It really is. So, but that game is super fun. It's just an awesome game. It's really fun to play with other people.
For sure.
It's not as fun when you're by yourself just fighting mobs after mob. But when there's 2 people, it definitely adds an extra little bit of excitement to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's it, actually.
All
Like
right.
I said, we just need to come up with the arc time. If you guys want to stream it, you can stream it. Whatever
Sounds good.
you guys want to do.
We will coordinate behind the art curtain, and we'll figure it out, and it should be fun. Should be a blast. All right. Well, I think that's all for the four of us, how about you, joiner? If you want to share what's new in your neck of the woods, then let's do some quick housekeeping, shall we? Where we offer you towels, fluff pillows topped with Andy's candies, and tip you off to how you can connect with the GMGU on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. You can share what's new with you, just like someone did. Got to open my phone on Discord. Hot beef plate himself. Travis Pospisil.
Hot beef plate.
He renamed himself. Someone's been listening. He said his highs. I've officially gotten below 200 pounds while gaining muscle at the same time. Congrats. He said it took forever and I've entered the dating scene and feel good about it this time. No leftover guilt. Nice, man. Those are some good highs.
Very cool.
Lozar's stepdaughter went off to college today. That sounds like a high to me. Get him out of the house. See ya. JK. She's the first in the family to do so.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
It's only sad in that it's one of those moments of her leaving home and not immediately coming back. But I'm proud of her for pursuing her dreams. Congrats, man. I think
cool.
It sounds like all highs to me. That's good stuff. But yeah. I can imagine how that feels like a low for sure. Very good. All right. For you joiners, if you'd rather not connect and have us, read your thoughts on the podcast, and you'd rather not connect with us visually or spectatorly, there is YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch where Marc is playing Battle Royales and them Legend of Zeldas, usually on the weekends. I am playing roguelikes and randomness, now in tandem with Chris the Rock in the BCOD streams. He's currently trying to wrap up Mad Max, one of our GMG VG BC games, and also playing Returnal with me on Saturdays. You can catch us bright and early, 4 a.m. Eastern, so be there or sleep in. Finally, on Patreon and our merch page, you can support and gear up with us. So click that one link to rule them all, either in the show notes or you can type it out real quick, linktree.com/thegmgpod. Of course, if you can't toss your attention or a coin to your podcasters but are still the giving type, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Podchaser and Spotify. Helps us reach new joiners through stars, exclamation marks, and your feedback. So let your voice be heard, literally if you'd like, at 929 GMG Guys. Alrighty then, Pat, Marc, and Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game, baby. Woo!